Comparing yourself to others gets you nowhere fast. False perceptions of others only makes things worse for you. Let's talk about this. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. Perception is the name of the game. We've been talking about it for several videos now, and in this series of perception, we look at how that affects us, where we go with it, and how we can use it to improve our day-to-day so that we can finally get ourselves moving in the right direction. Comparing ourselves, we do it all the time. Everybody does it, including me. There's not one person that doesn't compare themselves in any one situation when the values of what we have for something is intertwined with what we're seeing of other people, and we create this perception of, you know, who we think we should be compared to what we're seeing out there compared to what we are. The goal is to not compare ourselves with others because it does more harm than good. The damage social media has done to us in this category is drastic, it's harsh, and we see it and live it each and every day. So what does it really do? It creates a false sense of self. It destroys that inner who we are as we look at what other people are doing, who we idolize, who we look at in the same field, in the same area, and we want to be like them, but even when we try, we're not getting there anytime quick. It distorts our reality because at the beginning we think we can achieve that, and we create this false sense of hope. And as we create it and it develops, we start working towards whatever it is we're working towards. And then when we see that those results aren't coming in the way their results are showing, well, then it causes conflict with our inner self, and there you have it. That false sense of self develops, and then all of a sudden insecurity creep occurs, with more and more insecurities creeping up at a level that we didn't see before, not knowing how to work with the insecurities and get out of the situation we're in. The insecurities develop at the state where we're not able to see the end of the road. We don't see where we're headed. We lose scope, and all of a sudden that turns back into that self-doubt, self-hate, and then that success that we were envisioning altogether disappears. The dream actually dies, and because it dies, we are left kind of feeling dead inside. And of course, then the negative thoughts come out, where you would also include that jealousy, that resentment, and that self-hate that develops, and we see that in a lot of people. So what ends up occurring? Well, it pushes you away from being you, because the values you hold tight inside of you, well, you start to let them go a little bit. You start to give them some leeway so that they're, you know, more flexible in what's occurring, what you need to do, what you need to achieve. To put this into context, this would be something where somebody is morally against something like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, yet they eventually jump on board because they see that the only way to find success is to jump on the bandwagon of what is Facebook, and off they go. Their values get distorted along the lines, and all of a sudden they're not who they are or who they were, you would say. And this is the biggest thing. You get pulled away from being you. You get pulled away from being what you stand for. You basically lose all of that mental space you've created for yourself, that encouragement, that self-motivator, all that goodness inside of you kind of gets distorted along with your values. Integrity goes down the toilet, and then all of a sudden we repeat that loop of negative talk to ourselves, and boom, we're at the bottom trying to figure out how we're gonna stop swimming in mud and start swimming in clean water. The most critical thing about it is it takes you away from that mission and purpose you had built. It takes you away from all of that, because when you're comparing yourself to others, what you're doing is you're saying, why am I not there? Why did they achieve it? And instead of looking at how they're achieving, what they're doing, how they're doing, well, I think this goes to everybody. We start looking at it from a perspective of that jealousy and that resentment, and we start looking at all the negatives that we're seeing in them, and basically you just lose scope of what is. And that is reality. It ruins that game you started with yourself, because that's what it was. it was just a game. It wasn't fixated on your values, your integrity, and that mission and purpose you were looking for. And here's the email that started up this conversation, and off we go. Hi Nikos, I'm 27. I see all these people making money and I'm stuck with a life I hate. Powerful words. I have a business I'm still building and no sign of money coming in. My family isn't supporting me anymore and I'm just feeling alone. All these people are making it and I'm still nowhere. The email goes on, and that was the key principle behind everything on this email. This idea, where was it here? This idea of self-hate, my family isn't supporting me. What kind of support were you getting before that you're not getting now? Was this something where, it was financial, or was this on the mental side, that support to keep going? And then you're looking at it and you're saying, all these people are making it and I'm still nowhere. Who is social media people? Everybody has their own timeline. Everybody has their own stream of successes, little builds that make it to where they are. There's no such thing as, we wake up and boom, we're successful. It's like that overnight success people talk about. Everybody's had to work for it. They started somewhere. If you just look at Peter McKinnon, look how long he's been in that film industry, or you would say in photography, and then in making videos, and then all of a sudden he worked on his YouTube channel. If you look at, if you can find some stuff from his older YouTube video stuff, what was it? Oh. But then he found his way, and then he describes how he saw that explosion occur, but he's done a lot of other things that people latched onto, and they see him with value. It took time. It wasn't overnight. He didn't just blow up in, it's been a year and a half now, going into 2 million people following him. It took time. If you look at, what was that guy, Paul Logan or whatever? That guy who got in trouble with posting bad stuff on YouTube, and that was against YouTube's policy. He got started off from Gary Vee. He won a contest, and then they promoted him and helped him through the first 6 months. He didn't do it overnight. It took time. And nobody knows what everybody's going through in order to achieve the things they're trying to achieve. Everybody does it for a different purpose, because their values are different than your values. Values aren't going to be the same every time. And the interesting thing is, when you watch a lot of these old school YouTubers, one common thing comes out of it, and that is the people that are in it for the creative side of things, to promote and grow, okay? And there's a mission and purpose, that thing inside of them that propels them, they last. The people that are there for money don't. They burn out quick. They give up. Which one are you? If you want to be successful, stop thinking about all this stuff. Stop thinking about all this that is going on in the world. It does not matter. It's all just a that you're trying to get through, and it doesn't make any sense. Because all you're doing is you're devaluating who you are as a person, as a creator, as a business person. You're 27, and look at you. Just look at you. Look how far you've come, and look at the road you got to go. I wish I could go back to 27. I wish I could go back to 25, really. I really loved that time. But 27, man, and we're coming into the best social media timeline. This is where everything's starting to connect. Everything's starting to make sense. You have an opportunity to really, really grab hold of the market and the niche that you're in. And, you're sitting there going, I haven't made money yet, so yeah, well, I suck, so maybe I should give up. And maybe you should. Maybe there's no passion, there's no motivation there for you to continue. Or maybe it's that you're really comparing yourself to others. You're comparing yourself to how far people have come and their successes there, and instead of looking at yourself and saying, okay, I'm in a good spot, I'm where I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm gonna do so I can start developing even further. Everything takes time, everything. I guarantee you, if you turn off that mindset and you really just focus on that self-love, that self-trust that you have inside of yourself, and just say to yourself, I'm gonna make it each and every day. Every time there's a bad thought that comes in your head, every time you see somebody that out there you get jealous of or you have resentment towards because they're doing better than you, okay, every time you see that, just come back and say, I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'll be there one day. Now let me sit down and figure out what they're doing in order to achieve where they're supposed to be going. Understand that, you know, everybody's doing something a little bit better than somebody else, and this is why certain people get to where they're supposed to be at the time they're supposed to be. This is why some motivational people that I follow, they weren't successful until one moment when boom, and they were following all the successful people. And what do you think they were doing in order to be successful now? They weren't sitting there going, why am I not successful yet? They were trying to figure out, what do I need to do so I can do better than what I'm doing now in order to get to that level they're at and pass them, surpass them. Jumping into your fears was a big thing, and this is what goes on when you jump into these fears. This is what goes on when you take risks. This is what goes on when you start a business. This is where you need to say to yourself, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna hit it hard, and I'm gonna win. And every day I'm gonna start doing more and more and more so that I can succeed. Having yourself in a position with family support, whether it's financial or not, all that stuff is minuscule. I've dealt with it, and every other person has dealt with it. What you need to do is really put that into the back seat of the car and say, hey, I'm gonna take you on with the ride that I'm going on. Don't talk. I am not gonna have self-doubt in me. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna be right in it each and every day, and I'm gonna push it. Money will come in. Money will come in. You gotta just keep moving forward towards that mission and purpose you've developed for yourself and you've built, so that you can actually start seeing those small successes. Don't jump to the end goal and you will find that success you're looking for. I'm sure you hear from others that you should only be comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. And to that, I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the biggest truth you'll ever hear. Because the other people out there, they're not what they show. They post one picture, they post a video, they post whatever. Deep down inside, you don't know what everybody's thinking, where their successes lie. You don't know any of that. My name is Nico Zarantas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, and of course, leave a comment below and let me know that moment where you realized, hey, maybe I shouldn't be comparing myself, and I'll just focus on me and what that felt like. What was the moment? And who knows, maybe it'll help somebody watching this video.